Okay, this is the start of the X Mage League Grand Champions. We're going to play three formats: Standard, Modern, and Legacy. I'm joined by Alex Helkias, fresh off his Modern final. Hello, Alex.
Hello.
Yeah, we've got Bob Debonise from Group Two, aka Giraffe, is on the top of the screen, and Whiskey Burn, who was Alex's opponent in the Modern final, is on the bottom. Who's Oliver King?
Everyone watching this after.
Yeah. Standard, I'm not. I'm sure. I think, like most people, not too familiar with at the moment. It's a pretty
Yeah.
new format.
I have not I don't remember what um Giraffe was playing, and I've never seen Whiskey in standard, so it'll be interesting to see the matchup here.
Oh yeah, because we're both from Group Two, along with Bob,
Yep.
and looks like I'm gonna have a guess straight away and say Bob's on the Blue White Monument.
Either Monument or maybe Vehicles if he's still playing that.
Ah, true. Yes. Interestingly, for the viewers, this could have been you in the final here as well, so it would have been another format final.
Yep.
Uh, because your opponent in the last round, you finished even with Bob on 26 points, but on the countback, no, sorry, yeah, on the countback, Bob had beaten you in the head-to-head.
Mm.
So you finished 26 even, but he goes through. And that final round you played, interestingly, against Colron, I I speak to Colron a bit offline,
Yeah.
and he pointed out, which I didn't realize, it was his first win of the season. It was in the
Oh,
last
was it?
in the last round.
It does look like he's on Monument by that irrigated farmland,
Yeah,
so
and blue back control possibly. Oh, an early sensor.
I think that sensor definitely shows that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know about this matchup. I'm the same as you. I play the blue white monument. I think the deck's pretty good.
Yeah, I do too. I think it was actually much better than I expected it to be when I picked it up and started playing it. So,
Well, yeah, I haven't really enjoyed Standard at all, probably since Esper Dragons was the last deck I really enjoyed. But this one I actually really look forward to playing. And I'm probably going to go to GP Washington in September. I think I'm going to take this one.
yeah, I had been playing Mono Black Zombies, which was okay, but it was just a generic aggro deck. This one has a lot more interesting lines to play.
And it's
So,
just so there's so much card advantage. You can
hmm
get your creatures back again and again and again. I haven't really explored the new Hour of Devastation Graveyard Hate yet. I'm sure Black's probably going to play something to stop the Hour of that Dust Dawn card. What is
yeah, I
this?
would think so. And that's interesting. Looks like he's on three color with that forest into a land search. So
Search. So
this I haven't
it's
seen.
just a ramp spell, but I'll try and see what the other side is.
It's a draw two for six
Oh, so he might
and
not be
instant speed.
draw two. Yeah, he might not be on the monument then.
Yeah.
The card doesn't really go with the synergy at all. I was going to say we recorded a match the other day with Rodrigo. I don't remember the match, but he was on red blue control against the
Yeah.
monument deck, and the control just can't keep up even with the sweepers. He just the monument just plays a dust dawn next turn, and all the creatures are back again.
No, that was me in the standard finals.
Yeah, that's right. You won the standard
So
finals. Yeah,
that was me,
I've watched too
and it
much in
could
the
not
last few
keep
days.
up.
Yeah, it was kind of inevitable. I was commentating that one as well, and it's even if Rodrigo got the top decks he wanted, you just didn't see any way back for him.
Nope, not at all. And it looks like he negated the ramp side of that spell, so it'll still go to the graveyard for the draw two later, but no ramp on the first half for him.
I'm guessing Oliver's probably like us and not really knowing what's going on the other side of the board. So
That
when
would be my guess.
yeah, when in doubt, just counter. Although it's worth noting, Bob's down to three cards as well.
Yeah. And it looks like he's on three color control.
Some sort of Bant variation.
Yeah, and Oliver's on,
Gri-
it looks like Grixis.
Grixis.
That or the Feeded Pools is just in there as a blue cycling land, one of the two.
That's a good point. I think in your match with Rodrigo had defeated pools for that reason as well.
He was playing Fatal Push at least post board. I
Oh,
don't know if he had it pre.
oh no, yes, and he had the unlicensed disintegration as well.
Yeah, and a Traverse. This is an interesting deck that he's playing.
He brought the brew to the finals.
This is definitely not what he played when I played against him in the league, so.
1, 2, 3's up. Yeah, I'm curious to see what he's getting from the green. Surely it's not just a ramp. Possibly Tamio.
Yeah. The Traverse is good with Spring to Mind because it's an instant on the backside, but a sorcery on the front. So that gets you two card types for Delirium.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. But what Delirium payoffs are in Bant colors? Possibly.
They're all just mono green, I guess.
Yeah, all in green.
Yeah. Looks like we've got a Glimmer from Oliver here. The classic draw spell in Standard at the end of your opponent's turn.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to see what what he's building towards, because I thought, I mean, obviously I'm not in the finals, so I'm not not in any position to comment really on right and wrong with decks. But I thought Rodrigo splashing the black in that deck was probably should have been green, because he seemed to have an energy sub theme going on, but no green to take advantage.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. It depends. I guess that deck normally that he was playing would just win with Gearhulks and Dynavolt Tower, and the blacks just for some removal spells. But
yeah, that's right. But I think the tower without Dynavolt Tower without green mana to green spells to get the energy is a bit odd.
Yeah, usually you at least see like a tune with Ether. Looks like this Thraben Inspector has gotten in for the 4th time this match, so 16 more turns and he'll have the win.
If you look at Oliver's graveyard, plenty of draw so far, and two draw spells and 2 counters, so probably a reactive
and Oliver does
deck.
say exactly what we were talking about. He tells the Inspector to stop pinging him for 1 a turn.
Well, if he's on a control deck, the Lumbering Falls is a good card against that.
All the draw from Oliver now, and Anticipate. He did go bottom top with the Glimmer, so he found 1 card that he liked from that. And now we're seeing him build his hand up some more with this.
2, 4, 5. He's
Let's see.
It'd be interesting if Bob is on the player on the top of the screen's on a control build as well.
Yeah,
So,
it kind of looks like it
yeah.
so far. So
They're just kind of holding off. Oliver doesn't want to play any of his removal on a 1/2, but he might be forced to soon.
we may be in for a quite long match here.
I'm guessing the Spy Bluff Canals coming in tapped in is probably his draw for the turn.
I would guess, and I would think that maybe that bottom top was a Gearhulk, and the Anticipate was looking for a land for it. So
2,
this
4,
may have
5.
been what he found.
Oh, not mucking around.
Nope. Must not be much for him to do in his hand, so just getting in there with the Lumbering Falls.
Well, I think the only thing that's a danger to the Lumbering Falls here is all in white mana, which Oliver doesn't have. Something like a Blessed Alliance.
Yeah, because he doesn't have enough to flash in the Gearhulk yet, so pretty safe to get in there with it.
Yeah, we could see opposing Gearhulks here.
Mm-hmm. looks like Oliver deciding whether he wants to. Yep, another draw spell at the end of Bob's
2,
turn
4,
here.
5. For 3, this one.
Yeah, so draw 3, discard 1. Let's see what he discards.
Censor.
Censor.
Another thing of interest here as well is Bob's on the Bant colours, so if Oliver plays a Gear Hulk, he doesn't really have anything, because he's tapped out, he doesn't have anything that can really stop the Gear Hulk that's cheap. He's going to probably spend 3 on a Stasis Snare or 4 on
Yeah.
On
And I would actually consider, if I were Oliver right now, doing it main phase or before Bob untaps, just because with all that blue mana he could have a counter spell of his own waiting for the Gear Hulk. So
yeah, he's got the Glimmer in the graveyard as well.
yeah.
Yeah, the 4 mana, I forget the name, the enchantment from the new set. 4 mana white removal spell that exiles.
Cast Out.
That's the one, yeah, Cast Out. I suspect he's probably using it as his removal. 1, 2, 3 blue sources. 2, 4, 6, 7, yeah.
Sorry if I go silent for a bit. I'm trying to eat dinner at the same time, so
No problem.
muting myself so you don't hear the chewing in the video.
Here we go again with the Thraben Inspector. And you can see Bob now is respecting the Gear Hulk.
We could see battling Gear Hulks as they go here, actually. Just a glimmer, so not in hand yet for Oliver. Still searching.
Yeah, I think if he had the Gear Hulk, he would have cast it at the end of the previous turn when he was tapped, when Bob was tapped out.
Yeah.
But if Bob is on a control build here, we've seen Oliver now with 2 glimmers and a pull from tomorrow, so he's starting to generate a bit of an advantage.
The attack with Lumbering Falls makes me think maybe it's not control, because I'd think you'd just leave counter magic up if you had it. That or he just hasn't drawn it.
Yes.
So
well, he's got the Spring to Mind, so he's probably...
Yeah.
Is the Aftermath is the instant or the sorcery? Is the instant?
The Aftermath is the instant, so...
Yeah, so he'll probably get 2 cards at the end of this turn.
Yeah. That glimmer went bottom, so did not find anything he liked there, so just drew 2 random cards from that.
And I think with the Fumarole, it's quite clear now he's on a straight blue-red.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the...
And there it is, the draw 2. We could see a Gear Hulk into a negate or something out of Oliver here if he has it in hand now.
7. He's 1 short. 2, 4, 6, 7.
The negate's in his
Oh, sorry. Yeah. There it
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Bob's probably on like a the 2 mana white spell that destroys attacking creature. Immolating Glare is probably the removal he's got for the Gear Hulk, but he's kind of set back a turn now because he's going to have to play that on his own turn. So Oliver can fight a counterspell on Bob's turn.
Yep.
Counterspell War.
As we said there, he's getting the negate out of the graveyard for the Mind, so no draw 2. It is a lot of mana. I would expect this Gear Hulk not to survive, at the very least, through Oliver's next turn, unless there's a lot of counter backup for it in his hand.
Well, yeah, now's the time to play his Stasis Snare or his Cast Out. If there's nothing here, I think he's in big trouble. Unless it's a spell that removes an attack, like an Immolating Glare or a Blessed Alliance.
Yeah, that would be rough for him if he only has that, because that lets Oliver untap. Not messing around, just gonna get it out of there. And that's likely an okay use with those will probably come out for the
Yes.
sideboarded games, so 1 for 1 is fine.
And he's got the land, so he's got his 3 mana back if
Yeah.
with the double blue.
Oliver is doing what every control player wants to do and hitting his land drops on every turn.
Yeah, I wonder how much Bob was thrown by that fetid pools early,
Yeah.
like we were.
It looks pretty clear now that, yeah, it's just there as a cycling land for late game. I think blue-red control might be a deck to look out for moving forward with the new cards, because it gets another pretty good board wipe, an Hour of Devastation.
Yeah.
And I'd expect no plays here. Yep, just passing the turn.
Oh, we are rogue. So there's a potential for a Gearhulk again.
Now this is from Bob.
Yes, but he can't counter the Gearhulk here.
Oh yeah, no counter now.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Oliver would have 3 mana as well. Oliver is saying he's experiencing lag issues.
Okay. I was not getting any during my match with him earlier, so it may be on his end that that's coming from.
Yeah, from what I understand, he's not playing at home. I don't think he's away.
I was wondering because it seemed a little slower than I've seen him play before. So
Whiskey. I think I actually played him. Oh, that's aggressive. Void shattering the Thraben Inspector.
No more pinging for you, Thraben Inspector.
And he's probably thinking of the card draw from the clue as well.
Yep.
Either that or he's just got a loaded hand of counter spells.
With the card draw, this is probably like a 1.5 for 1 if you count the 1/2 as half a card on its own. There we go, just a land drop.
So he's only got 2 cards left in hand.
His grapple did not hit anything particularly good. He hit a Thraben Inspector, a land, and a Fumigate, so nothing he really wanted there.
Has he got the Delirium here? Sorcery,
like he does
land, instant creature, yeah. Oh, so the grapple enables
it tells you
Delirium.
at the top now.
Really?
It says 4 card types next to his
Oh,
graveyard.
yeah, of course.
Mixmage updated that at some point in the past. And another Gearhulk comes in.
Well, he's got one. Bob's got 1 card left, so.
It's a counter.
Yep.
Not for the Gearhulk, it looks like.
Sorry, Oliver. Maybe Oliver's interested in stopping the Traverse.
I would guess he's just going to Void Shatter it.
2, 4, 6, 7.
Yep, Void Shatter is being targeted.
Oh, Bob's out of cards now.
Yep, so he gets rid of the Gearhulk, but he doesn't get his Traverse still, because the Void Shatter is still going to get cast by the Gearhulk's trigger.
And Oliver's going to draw, so he's going to have 5 cards to play with.
Yep.
He can probably... I was going to say he can fire up that Fumarole if he wanted to, but 1, 2, 3, 4... I'd still have 5 mana backup.
Yeah. This one I think is going to be tough for Bob to come back from with the card advantage that Oliver already has.
That is
Although 2 Gearhulks down.
2 Gearhulks down, yeah. I think the traditional builds of these red-blue control play the 4 Gearhulks and then rely on the Fumaroles to get the win.
Yep. It's unfortunate for us because that Traverse would have shown us a little bit more about Bob's deck, but now we still aren't sure what his win conditions are, so.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Bob's graveyard, and we haven't seen a single Glimmer or Pull from Tomorrow. So yeah,
Maybe he has something like Ishkana to go get. It's the only real great delirium payoff I can think of.
mm, I'm wondering if he's running tireless trackers as well.
Yeah, I think that's probably likely to be in his deck.
But
And you could be right about the Tameo. I think that's a really strong card that never quite found a deck that made use of it. But
yeah, for quite a while I was playing around with some sort of Bant control mid-range, I guess, that had the Thraben Inspectors with tireless trackers into Tamio.
mhm.
It's quite an effective build.
Bob had a dead draw there, just got a land. Ooh, and another Gearhulk from Oliver. He's just drawn it all this game, it looks like.
2, 4, 6. Yep, that might almost be it.
That'll probably cast a Glimmer out of his graveyard, get him 2 more cards. He can get in for 9 if he wants to fire up the Fumarole.
9 will drop him to 13. So
Yeah. Not quite a 2-turn clock, but close.
although Oliver can block. Sorry, Bob can block with the lumbering
With
falls.
the Lumbering Falls, that's true. I think that Oliver would probably make that trade right now, his Fumarole for the Lumbering Falls, so.
Certainly. And Bob does have 22 life, so he's got a couple of turns to top deck. Having said that, though, he's up against 5 cards in hand.
He went bottom top and is now cycling to get that card that he put on top into his hand. Well, he already has it from the Glimmer, I guess, but just drawing a new card now.
Cycling main phase is a bit odd.
It was end of
Bob's
turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, so he's in a fair bit of trouble, Bob.
Mm-hmm. No cards in hand. Like we said, the one blocker that could block either chump the Gearhulk or trade with the Fumarole if he does fire it up. We'll see now if that's what's happening here.
Oh, he's still got another Glimmer in his grave if he was to get another Gearhulk. One,
Mm-hmm.
1, 2. Although this is his 3rd Gearhulk in play at the moment, so he's only got 1 more to go.
Just gets in with the Gearhulk, leaves all his mana up, so likely even if Bob draws something good here, it's going to be tough. And a Primal Druid, so maybe he must be on a merge. I would guess there's Deep Fiends in his deck then.
Yep. This harks back to a standard deck from about 12 months ago.
Mm-hmm. I didn't remember white being in that deck, but it might have been subbed in for, I think the old one was Teamer with red, but might have switched it out for white due to new cards.
Yeah, what have we seen with only Thraben Inspectors and Fumigate?
Fumigate cast out Thraben Inspector, so maybe just for bigger removal than red gets.
That's aggressive.
I guess it makes him not able to chump with it for a turn, so
Yeah,
keeps his clock going.
and he doesn't have a hard counter in the grave, so
Yeah.
it could be a target for Gearhulk later on as well. I guess it depends how aggressive he would want to get with a Gearhulk in hand.
Mm-hmm. This next turn, if he attacks for 9, he would. Oh, and here it is. So this will probably just get another Glimmer, get him 2 more cards. And now this is a 2-turn clock for Bob.
Yeah, I think now would be the time to get in with the Fumarole, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, I would attack with everything on this next one.
Bob says
Bob
all 4 neat.
And it seems like that would be unlikely in 30 cards, but with the Glimmers, he's seen probably closer to 40 cards out of his deck with all the scries and everything. So
Yeah,
not super unlikely to see all four.
he's got a lot of card draw as well. He's had he
Yeah.
pulled for 3, and he's got the hieroglyphic illumination. Anticipate. Here's another cycle.
Yep.
I think this is almost the point where if we weren't just commentating and we were judging, would probably step in mercy rule
Yeah.
here.
Or just walk away and know that this game's over. We can go check out another table and come back once game 2 starts.
I I mean, I suppose Bob could pull a fumigate off the top, but even then, with 5 cards in hand,
Yeah, you have to assume there's counter magic in there. So if Fumarole gets in, that guarantees that Bob's dead in 2 turns, no matter what he blocks. So I think it's going to get in there this turn.
and if he's tossing up Wint, he has to use the
Looks
fumarole
like
at
no.
some point. Oh, I was going to say,
I guess this turn or next turn doesn't matter.
well,
He needs to attack with it one of the 2.
next turn Bob potentially has a card in hand, whereas now he doesn't.
True.
1, 2, 3, 4 to fire up the lumbering falls.
Although with counter magic, he probably assumes that no matter what that card is, it doesn't matter. He will be able to counter whatever it is and still get in there with the Fumarole the next turn.
Oh, it doesn't do anything. Possibly Gear Hulk, but
Or
he's
maybe another cast out.
Yep, that's a good call. Yeah, he's got no targets for Gear Hulk anyway.
Or a land that he's holding and bluffing and hoping that Oliver decides not to attack for some reason. And a 4th, I believe, Glimmer from Oliver here.
I think 2 of them are in exile. Yeah, 2
Yep.
in exile.
So I guess 3rd card, but probably 4th casting of Glimmer with all the Gear Hulks.
Yeah. You'd assume he's running 4 glimmers with the hieroglyphic illumination there. It baffles me why when I see some lists that have that illumination over glimmer, even for the cycling.
Yeah, the only time it's better is early game if you're missing land drops. But other than that, Glimmer is the better card once you get to 4 mana. Bottom top again, so found something that he liked.
Check Facebook messages. Oh yeah, but
Saying that he might clock.
it's 16 minutes.
And it is tough if you're dealing with lag issues, plus the
Yeah.
never stopping clock online. And
Oh,
there's the Deep
yeah.
Fiend, so
Okay, that'll at least buy him a turn. Yeah,
Yep.
what we were talking about on Facebook messages for those watching is Oliver's down to 15 minutes of game time, and obviously we don't want any games decided by somebody's clock running out. So after this game, then we'll have to reset it back to a new one.
and what we're going to have them do, he said this in the Facebook message, but for all you watching, we'll just have whoever loses make a game, immediately concede, so that they can sideboard and get to what game 2 would have been in this match.
You don't see too many X-Mage games go to time these days.
No. But it is a new set release, and often that does lead to some server lag, because lots of people want to get on to draft the new set or play their constructed decks with new cards. Deep Fiend tapping down the Fumarole. Defeated pulls and likely both Gear Hulks here.
The other thing to note here is that Oliver's actually down to 11 life.
Hmm.
So
No counter spell.
yeah, the Lumbering Falls can get in for 3. So Deep Fiend could knock him to. He could knock 8 off. If he tops something
Yeah.
else that's decent, he could get away with this one.
I'm surprised no counter magic. Oh, just a harness lightning with 15
He's
energy.
15
So
energy.
there goes the Deep Fiend.
And really, Bob's back to square one where he needs another top
Yeah.
deck.
It would have been really cool if he had had a disallow in hand, because he could have disallowed the cast trigger, harness lightning the actual Deep Fiend, and still gotten the win.
What do you think at this stage? If you were Bob, would you have played that Deep Fiend out?
I think since you showed the Primal Druid earlier, it's likely that as long as Oliver has played Standard in the last year, he knows that there's going to be some emerge target, and Deep Fiend's the best one, so I don't think it says a whole lot.
Yeah.
But there's some argument to be made for keeping it back.
Yeah, because I think we were a bit confused what was going on until we saw that Druid.
Here's a cast out, which is going to buy him another turn if there's no counter spell. And there's a negate.
So that's game.
So that should do it.
So game 1 will go to Oliver King.
Yep. And we'll have them
Assuming
hop out of this game and make a new set.
Yep. Assuming he fires up the fumarole.
Yes. Otherwise, if he doesn't, he will give Bob one more turn.
And there's the concession. So game 1 goes to Oliver.
Yep. And we'll see everyone for game 2.